No.
Daddy, can't I?
No.
Daddy, may I?
No, my darling daughter.
Daddy, can I go to the coffee bar where the boys and the beards and the beatniks are? I promise to be good if you say I could.
No, my darling daughter. For in those coffee places, the majority of faces are in dire need of soap and water. So Daddy, who knows best, says to your request, no, my darling daughter.
If a man on a drive in the country says there's no petrol left in the cab, and he wants to park and talk,
You get out of there and walk. It's not the motor car that's stalling, it's the man. Rat.
well, Daddy, can I go to a jazz club then if I'm home at the stroke of 10:30? If they turn the lights too low, I promise to go slow.
No, my darling.
But Daddy.
No, my darling.
But Daddy.
No, my darling daughter.
But Daddy, will I ever be a wife if it's no, 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 no all my life? Supposing one fine night I find Mr. Right.
Oh, my darling.
Well, Daddy.
Oh, my darling.
Well, Daddy.
You'll know, my darling. Oh, yes, my darling. You'll know, my darling daughter.
Oh.
Morning, Charlotte.
Morning, Tom. Yes?
Oh, Miss Yardley.
Yes?
It's Sir Matthew Carr calling from Paris, Miss Yardley.
Very well, Miss Oswald. I'll take it here.
Bonjour, Mademoiselle Yardley.
Good morning, Sir Matthew.
No, it is just that this is Paris, and it happens to be spring. The sky is not yet blue, and the chestnuts are not yet out in the bois again. But, Yardley, have you noticed? The bank rate has dropped by 0.5%. Tokyo. Tokyo was splendid. Yes, I clinched the deal. We have to fork out rather less than I expected. Well, under $1 million, anyway. Tell me, anything important in the mail? Really important, I mean. Don't forget I'll be back in London in 2 hours.
Yes, Sir Matthew.
Well, now, anything in from New York? From the Allinghams? Oh, I'd rather hope that deal might be signed and sealed by this time. You better send them a reminder, Yardley. Well, anyway, I'll be on the 11 o'clock plane, so have Hobson meet me with the car. Oh, tell me, General Barclay's not in yet, I imagine. How's he bearing up to the strain of having my darling daughter parked on him for the holidays, eh?
I think they've enjoyed having Miss Tansey, both the General and Mr. Thomas.
Well, I want to see her before she goes. Tell her that I'm coming back specially. Yes, by all means, let her come to the office. I'll leave you to arrange all that, Yardley. And Yardley, don't forget to wire New York. The Allinghams. Goodbye.
What's the matter now?
Oh, Thomas, my hat. What have I done with my hat?
With any luck, you'll have lost it.
If I have, I might as well drop dead. Matron will kill me. Did I leave it in the taxi?
What's that in there?
Oh, yes. Flap over.
Now, look. That is where to keep your hat.
Oh, Thomas, you beast. Thomas, now I can't see a thing.
Come on, Buttonface. You've already messed up my lunch date.
I've said I'm sorry, Thomas, and anyway, it wasn't my fault. Was she very cross?
I'm not in the habit of discussing my love life with schoolgirls.
Honestly, Thomas, I simply can't imagine it.
Imagine what?
Your love life. I mean, do you hold hands and tell her you love her and all that? I mean, it just seems so absolutely batty.
Yes, well, little girls always think love's batty until it happens to them. Sort of insurance in case it doesn't.
Oh, goodness, I don't care. I can't imagine being soppy about anyone, so why should anyone be soppy about me?
I can't think. Still, miracles do sometimes happen. Come to think of it, I was pretty repulsive, too, when I was young.
Was? You're no dreamboat now.
Thanks very much.
Looks as though Daddy hasn't even arrived yet. I'll miss the school train. I know I will. Every time Daddy makes an effort about me, it ends up a shambles.
Nothing that the chairman of car investment trusts tackles is ever a shambles.
What about last holes?
Off.
It was his idea to take me out dancing as a treat, and it was torture. It wasn't my fault he fell flat on his face doing the cha-cha. I told him I was always the man at school. He should have known I could only go forwards.
Well, you could hardly expect him to be the woman and go backwards.
No, but everyone thought he was drunk and he was furious. And I've had to have extra dancing to learn to be the woman. Only now I'm so mixed up I can't go backwards or forwards. And I'm sure he wouldn't come back, especially to see me, unless he had some terrible new improvement scheme lined up for me.
How's young Thomas getting on with the old firm?
Oh, he's settled down remarkably well. I never let him see it, of course, but I was bitterly disappointed when he chucked the army.
Oh, no, you were.
But now he's obviously found his feet.
I bet he arrives too late for me to catch the school train.
Then I'm sure he'll send you down in the car with Hobson.
Me drive up late in that beastly Rose with all the school watching. It's bad enough being Sir Matthew Carr's daughter without drawing attention to the fact.
You should be proud of your father, Miss Tansey.
Oh, but I am. I meant that for me to arrive at school like that would be just about as sensational as if you blew in here one morning absolutely stark naked.
Really?
Oh, gosh, Miss Yardley, I'm sorry. Of course you never would, because it'd be ghastly. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. I'm sure you'd look marvelous. Oh, gosh, no. Everything I say seems to come out meaning something different.
Well, here's one report I wouldn't have the face to circulate among even the meekest bunch of shareholders.
Tansey's all right, Matthew. I loved having her stay with me. She's a very sweet child.
Well, Tansey's a darling, we know that, but if she's going to compete with some of these seductive little pieces that circulate these days, well, she'll have to get rid of that damn cricket bat. Something's got to be done, and I'm afraid I'm the one to do it.
Welcome back, Sir Matthew.
Thank you, Miss Yardley. Oh, any reaction from New York yet, from the Allinghams?
Not yet, Sir Matthew.
Oh.
Daddy, how marvelous!
Have you had a good holiday?
Oh, yes, it's been super.
Didn't miss me too much?
Oh, no, not at all.
Oh.
Oh, yes, I mean, of course I did. And I loved all the postcards.
Here, Henry, you better have a look at this. It's pretty exciting.
You think the trip was worth making, then?
I do indeed. There's lots of splendid development around if you know where to look for it.
Yes, I see.
No, not that, Henry.
Quite. I'll take these away and study them. I'll see you later, Matthew. Bye-bye, Tansey. Have a good
Bye,
time.
Uncle Henry.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. Was that your foot?
My fault entirely. Always was clumsy.
You'd better take a look at this.
Oh, gosh, Daddy, it's nearly 4 o'clock.
Well, what's the hurry?
Oh, it's beautiful. What is it?
It's a kimono. All the pretty little girls in Tokyo wear them.
What's this?
Well, that's the belt thing. Goes around the back. This big bow at the back, like that. See? Try it on.
Now?
Well, just give us the effect of it, you know.
Don't think it'll go on over all
Oh,
this.
yes, it'll be all right. Give us an idea. There.
Oh, I'm afraid it won't go on at all.
Oh.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Daddy. It's my fault for growing.
Nonsense. I hadn't realized. Oh, dear. Well, as a present, that, I'm afraid, is a bit of a washout.
Oh, no, I love it. Anyway, it's the thought that counts. It's wonderful to see you, Daddy, and I simply hate going, but I'm afraid I must.
Going? Going where?
Back to school.
Oh, heavens, I haven't told you about that, have I? You're not going back to school, Tansey. I phoned that headmistress of yours from Paris last night.
Oh, Daddy, I'm sorry about the report. I know it was awful, but I do try. Honestly, I do.
No, it isn't that. I'm not pitching into you about your report. In fact, it was the headmistress I pitched into.
Oh, Daddy, you didn't.
No, it's obviously the fault of the school. After all, it isn't as if you weren't intelligent.
Me? Intelligent? But, Daddy, I'm not.
What nonsense. Your mother was. I am. How can you be anything else?
I don't know, but somehow I've managed it.
No, it's obviously the school. You're unhappy there.
Well, only in quite a happy sort of way. If I went to another school, I might be unhappy in an unhappy sort of way.
But you're not going to another school, Tansey. You're going to be finished off in Paris.
In Paris? Oh, no.
Hello. I hear the big brass is back at last. Look, I'd like a few moments with Sir Matthew, Miss Yardley. Alone. How's chances?
The chances are that Miss Tansey's going to miss her train. If you want to see Sir Matthew, you'll have to help me first.
A pleasure.
Well, go and talk nicely to Johnson. Tell him to have a taxi standing by.
You know, I want you to learn to enjoy life, Tansy. Graciously. And, you know, I'll be over from time to time. I'll introduce you to all the interesting people, and we'll go to places, see things, and live it up a little. How's that?
Oh, Daddy, please. I'm not nearly ready to even start being finished yet. And this living it up and meeting people is not what I want to do at all. It's not me. It's just not how I want to live.
I had no idea you had a career in mind, Tansy. What is it you want to do?
Well, nothing.
Oh, simple.
I mean, it's not very easy to explain.
Oh, you can tell me, surely.
Well, you may not like the idea.
Well, don't tell me you want to climb Mount Everest or be a lion tamer or...
Oh, yes.
A lion tamer, oh.
No, but, well, you know, something to do with animals. Things like dogs. They don't care how you look or if you're clever or anything, just so long as you smell right.
Mm.
Oh, I don't mean they only like people who smell, because after all, we all smell.
Thank you.
Oh, gosh, no. I don't mean what we call smell, but what they call smell. You know.
Tansy, when you drop a clanger like that, don't try and pick it up again, because you only drop half a dozen more. Now, look, after a couple of months in Paris, you won't be dropping clangers anymore. Oh, come along. I tell you what we'll do. I'll go and see Uncle Henry, find out what's happened, and then we'll go back to the flat, put on our party dresses, and go out and celebrate. How's that?
Oh, Daddy, not dancing, please.
And I always make it quite clear the first time I go out with a boy just what sort of behavior I'm accustomed to. Not one of them's ever put a foot wrong.
Oh, it's not their feet you want to watch, Maggie.
Oh, you got something there, Cock.
Charming.
Now, come along, Miss Tansy. You're going to miss your train.
Yes, I am.
Oh, no, not if you hurry, you won't.
But, Miss Yardley,
Come
I'm not
on,
going
dear.
back.
Oh, yes, you are. I've got a nice taxi waiting for you.
But, Miss Yardley, you
Come along,
don't
dear.
understand.
There's a good
I'm
girl.
not going back to school.
Well, what's all this? We trying to dodge the draft button first?
I'm not going back.
Now, look, a minute ago you were moaning about missing the train, and now you're trying to duck out of it. Don't you ever know what you want?
Yes, I know exactly what I want. I want to go back to school and stay there as long as I possibly can.
And what are we hanging about for? Come on. Come on, Bud. There's no use arguing. You're going back to school.
Those things went out with Tom Brown's school days.
My hat! Where's my hat?
In the usual place, idiot. There, now you're all set to rejoin the goons. Ooh.
Hello, where's Miss Tansy?
As you were busy, sir, I sent her off.
Oh, couldn't she have waited for me?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't realize you wanted to go with her.
Oh, well, I wasn't ready anyway. Offer considered. Letter follows today, Allingham. That's more like it. I think they're going to bite, Miss Yardley.
Yes, Sir Matthew. Sir Matthew, I have Mr. Thomas outside. He wondered if you could spare him a few moments.
Well, I suppose I could, yes. Show him in.
Mr. Thomas?
Well, Thomas, your father tells me that you're settling in pretty well.
Yes, sir. Well, actually, sir, that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
If it's anything to do with the rising cost of living, the answer is no.
No, sir. It's nothing to do with that. It's just that I felt that I ought to give you this personally.
Oh, what is it?
Well, sir, it's my resignation.
I don't quite understand. Your father hasn't said anything.
Well, I haven't actually told him yet, sir. Although I did warn him that I mightn't like the job, but, well, then he got into such a state that, well, I agreed to give it a trial.
Well, I'm quite aware that your present job doesn't shoulder heavy responsibilities, but we all have to start somewhere, don't we?
Oh, yes, I know, sir. Bottom of the ladder and all that. I've no objection to that, sir.
Thanks to your father and me, I would say you were starting quite a way up the ladder.
Yes, sir, and I'm very grateful, but the question I have to ask myself is, am I on the right ladder? Well, what I mean is that if after years and years of flogging oneself to the top, one then found that one was on the wrong ladder, well, one would feel a bit of a fool, wouldn't one, sir?
I suppose one would, yes. And how do you think you're going to know when you're on the right ladder?
Oh, well, that's easy, sir. Before you start, you take a look at the end product.
The end product?
The end product of the job. I mean, the end product of the Navy is an admiral, and in the church, a bishop, politics, cabinet ministers.
I follow you, Thomas. Since you've handed me your resignation, I take it that you don't fancy the end product sitting at the top of this particular ladder. Me, Thomas.
Oh, good heavens, sir. I didn't mean you, sir.
Oh, I'm glad there's no personal aversion. You're just allergic to city bosses in general, is that it?
Oh, I know it's not their fault. They have to conform to type, but, oh, the same clothes, same cars, same clubs, even the same jokes, sir. And after 40 years, when they look at themselves in the mirror, what do they see, sir?
You tell me.
Well, sir, they only see the job. They don't see the man at all. And that's a pretty depressing prospect, isn't it, sir?
Suicidal?
Of course, you're an exception because you made the job. The job didn't make you. But my only chance of ever getting to the top is to conform to the job. So what I have to do is try and find some end product that I don't mind conforming to.
You seem to have given this a great deal of thought.
Well, not as much as I'd have liked, actually, sir, but, well, that's the trouble with having to work. You don't have time to think until you're too old to think.
I was under the impression that my brain is still ticking over, Thomas.
Oh, yes, of course, sir, but, well, with all due respect, sir, it's rather routine thinking, isn't it? I mean, about the job and all that. But real thinking, sir, about life.
Life?
Yes, sir. Buddhism, the H-bomb, philosophy and all that, sir. But I mean, it's no use waiting until your life's nearly over before you start thinking, because by then it's too late to do anything about it, isn't it, sir?
I can't think why, Thomas, but I find this conversation singularly depressing.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, sir. I was rather enjoying it. You see, you're the only sort of senior person that I know who seems to understand what I'm getting at.
I wonder. So you propose to devote your time to finding an attractive end product and thinking about life?
Exactly, sir. Of course, I'm prepared to stay on here until the end of the month.
Oh, that's extremely thoughtful of you. There's only one sordid detail I hardly like to mention. Money.
Oh, well, I've got plenty of that, thank you, sir.
Why thank me?
Because you gave it to me, sir.
I did?
Yes, as my godfather. Banker's order, 50 quid every birthday and 100 on my 21st. Well, it's mounted up.
Oh, I'm very glad. You say that you haven't told your father that you're leaving us.
No, sir. After all, you're the head of the firm, and if I may say so, sir, I suggest that you break it to him gently. He gets a bit upset sometimes.
You suggest that I break it to him gently?
Yes, I do. You see, when I had to tell him that I was chucking the army, he was so cut up that I thought he was going to throw a fit or something, so I think I'll leave it to you this time.
Yes, I see.
Thank you, sir.
The breakdown of the accounts for the directors' meeting tomorrow, Sir Matthew.
Yardley, come here a moment.
Is there anything wrong, sir?
Yardley, what do you see there?
Why, you, Sir Matthew.
Not the Car Investment Trust.
But you are the Car Investment Trust, Sir Matthew.
Is there anything wrong with that?
Oh, no. It's one of the soundest concerns of its kind in the city.
Yardley, do you ever get time to think?
Think? I hope I think all day, Sir Matthew.
Oh, yes, but that's just routine stuff. But how are you on Buddhism, on the H-bomb, on philosophy and all that? I mean, what do you know about life?
Life? Oh, life's all very well, Sir Matthew, but one doesn't bring it into the office, does one?
Thank you, Miss Yardley. Those few words have done wonders for my morale.
Oh, Sir Matthew, what do I do with this?
Slip it on and pop around to the nearest geisha house. Do you good.
So she wasn't supposed to catch the train, Sir Matthew. Oh, I see. Yes, very well, Sir Matthew, I'll tell her. Young Mr. Barclay will be picking her up first thing in the morning. Yes, that's quite clear, Sir Matthew. Goodbye. Now, what on earth made you do such a foolish thing when your father's gone to a great deal of trouble and expense to arrange for you to go to Paris?
But that's just it, Miss Lucas, and I wish he wouldn't. I must be the only bit of property he's ever spent money on that shows no return at all.
I think there's been some improvement. And most girls of your age would simply adore the chance to go to Paris.
But, Miss Lucas, you know the clangers I drop in English. Think of the French ones I'm going to drop.
Hello?
Hello, Henry. It's Matthew here. Do you remember that dreadful day, Henry, when the bank rate rose to 7.5? What did we do, give up?
No, we went round to the club and wrapped ourselves round a bottle of whiskey, I remember.
Yes, and by dawn we had the answer. Well, we've got another problem on our hands, Henry. Or to be precise, two problems.
Damn it, I see it now.
See what, old boy?
The end product of the army is a general. I'm a general, aren't I?
Have another drink, General.
Thomas chucked the army. Wouldn't say why. Now I know. Didn't like the end product. Took one look at me and didn't like it. My own son doesn't like me. Heaven knows why we have children, Matthew.
Heaven knows. Damn it, I made it clear enough. She knew she didn't have to go back to school. Well, why didn't she tell Miss Yardley?
Yeah, you'd better have another drink.
Well, what's the matter with the child?
I can tell you what's the matter with Tansy. Easy. She finds it a bit of a strain being your daughter. That's all.
You mean she'd rather be someone else's daughter?
No. She never actually said that, Matthew.
No, but she doesn't like having me as a father. That's why she's gone scuttling off to school again. She prefers life in that hellhole to life with me.
Got to face up to it, Matthew. Our young don't appreciate us.
Why not? Other people appreciate us. I appreciate you.
And I appreciate you, Matthew, very much.
In fact, I wouldn't mind having you as a father.
You wouldn't?
Proud to.
And I'd be proud to have you for a son, Matthew.
Thank you. Better have another drink, Dad.
Come to think of it, I wouldn't mind having you for a father.
Thank you, Henry.
In fact, I'd like it very much indeed.
And I'd like to have you as a daughter, Henry.
No, there's something wrong there. Well, good night, old boy. Extremely successful evening, I feel.
Extremely successful. Good night, old boy.
Good night.
Sleep well.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Allow me.
Thank you. Don't make a noise, will you? I don't want to wake up my son.
No, I won't.
I want him to get some sleep. He's going back to school tomorrow. And poor chap fell off a ladder this afternoon.
Did he?
Fell off a ladder.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Tansy's almost ready. Just saying her goodbyes. It is Mr. Barclay, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Mr. Henry Barclay.
No, that's Father, General Barclay. I'm Thomas.
Oh. Only I've had this rather odd telegram early this morning. It's signed Henry Barclay, but I can't make head or tail of it.
Yes, it's Father, all right, but he must have got his addresses mixed. I think this was meant for someone else.
Extraordinary.
Golly, isn't he a dish? Doesn't he look lovely and mean? But he's so old.
Bet you've forgotten something.
No, I haven't, Thomas, honestly.
What about your cricket bat?
Oh, I won't be needing that. I'm not going to Paris to play games, am I?
I hope not. Not even French cricket.
Golly, it's Tansy. I wish I were her. I don't. Alone in a car with a man? Poor thing.
Matthew, did I sing Dear Old Pals last night? Oh, I haven't had such a head on me since we liberated Brussels. Matthew, it was you who saw me to my room, wasn't it? Oh. Didn't we come to some decision about those children of ours?
Tansy stays at school. Thomas sits and thinks, which is more than I can manage at the moment.
Is that the best we could do? Perhaps we should come to a fresh appreciation of the situation.
We did quite enough appreciation last night. I don't think you should have asked that hall porter for a horsewhip.
Why did you keep quoting Shakespeare?
Shakespeare?
Yes, you kept saying, dead, dead, and never called me mother.
Good morning, Sir Matthew. I was wondering what happened to you. Good morning, General. Your mail, Sir Matthew.
Yardley, please.
Oh, but it's such a lovely sunny morning.
I take your word for it. Ooh. Anything in the mail from Allingham?
Not yet, Sir Matthew. But when you're ready, the accountants are waiting to see you.
Let them wait.
Those accounts are pretty urgent.
If they're urgent, why did they write them in Chinese? Here, give the accounts to the general.
No, you've a better head for figures than I have.
I should think our heads are about equal this morning.
You're not sickening for anything, Sir Matthew. Flu, perhaps. Don't you think you ought to take something?
Now, that's an idea. Henry, I think we should take something.
Has the general got it, too?
Yes, but don't let him tell you that he caught it from me. Come along, Henry. We'll go gently round the corner to the chemist's and take something.
Yes, well, what you want, sir, is a number 11.
Come again?
A number 11 bus.
Oh, well, can't I walk?
Can if you want to. People do sometimes. Now, you go straight down there to the 1, 2, 3, third set of traffic lights. Turn right, that's Bond Street. Go to the end, you're in Piccadilly. Turn left along Piccadilly, straight through Piccadilly Circus, you're in Leicester Square. Take the right diagonal across Leicester Square. Come into Trafalgar Square, follow your nose across Trafalgar Square, go down Northumberland Avenue, you're on the embankment. Turn left along the embankment, and in a little while you'll see the Dome of St. Paul's in front of you on the left.
St. Paul's what?
St. Paul's Cathedral.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that.
Yeah, well, when you get there, I think you better ask again, sir.
Well, thank you very much, officer. Goodbye.
Perhaps I shouldn't have run away to school, but I don't see why you should be tearing a strip off me, Thomas.
Because I had the trouble of bringing you back, didn't I? And I'm getting pretty sick of carting all that stuff around and seeing you in those ridiculous clothes. Why don't you burn them and grow up?
Well, I...
After all, the basic material isn't too bad if you'd only learn to walk and sit properly. Paris is just the place to learn those things.
Hello there.
Hello.
You want a light?
No. It's very kind of you, but I don't think I will smoke. Not just now, that is.
I know, it's a terrible habit. How many packs do you get through a day?
A day? Oh, well, it varies, you know.
Say, I was told I'd find Sir Matthew Carr's secretary up here. Are you her?
Oh, gosh, no.
What's he like? You know, by the name, I'm expecting to see a crummy old fellow with whiskers and a great big tall hat.
No, Daddy's not at all like that.
Your father? Oh, I might have known. Always goof. I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry. I'm always dropping clangers, too.
Clangers? Hey, that's cute. I have a letter here for your father from my father. Well, I haven't lost it.
Oh, I didn't think you looked the sort of person my father would know. Oh, gosh. I mean...
Well, I know. I looked like a bum, but I just got off the plane and checked in and been walking around London ever since. It's a beautiful city, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose it is. I never really thought about it.
Do you know that's St. Paul's Cathedral over there?
Oh, yes. A up in the dome. It's absolutely super. There's a whispering gallery.
You mean as a ghost or something?
Oh, no. You can whisper into the wall on one side, and they can hear you right over on the other side.
I suppose you wouldn't, but could you come up there with me? Well, unless you have a date.
A date? Who would want to have a date with me?
Well, why not?
Well, look at me. In these hideous clothes.
They are a little offbeat. You know, different.
Different? At school, there's 300 just like me.
Are you kidding? All over the States, you wouldn't find one looking like you. There I go again. Automatically, I goof.
Oh, I don't mind. Honestly, it's a great relief to meet another dope. Oh, golly, now I've goofed.
Shake. Now we can both relax. Be friends, maybe.
I'd like that. I don't have many friends.
Me neither. Now, come on, let's go.
Oh, no, not that way. Somebody might see us.
So what? We haven't robbed the bank.
No, but if somebody sees us, they may try to stop us. People usually do when you're doing something you really want to do, don't they? Oh, thank you.
Henry, do you see what I see?
Good heavens, Tansy. Now what's happened?
I don't know, and I have a feeling I'm not going to like it. We did send that telegram, didn't we?
Yes, we did, Matthew. As a matter of fact, we sent several telegrams.
Yes, one time we were in rather a telegraphing mood. Anyhow, let's go and hear what she has to say for herself.
Well, say something.
Just said something.
Say something else.
Oh, Paul, full often hast thou heard my moans for parting my fair Pyramus and me.
Hey, was that poetry?
No, only Shakespeare.
Do some more.
Out, damned spot! Out, I say!
Was that Shakespeare, too?
Yes.
It better be.
Can't I turn my back without somebody losing the child?
But I wasn't here, Sir Matthew. I was with the accountants.
Well, don't just stand there, Yardley. Put a call through to the school. Maybe she's gone back there again.
But what about the accountants, Sir Matthew? They're still waiting to see you.
Damn the accountants.
Very good, Sir Matthew.
Wasn't I meant to bring her back, sir?
No, you weren't. I sent a telegram last night to say that if she wanted to, she was to stay there.
You changed your mind, sir?
Yes, I changed my mind, but obviously the telegram never arrived.
Well, actually, there was a telegram, sir, but it's not from you. It's a bit confusing, really.
Henry, where did you spend VE Day?
What? I was lucky enough to be in Brussels. Why?
Thanks for the memory of VE Day, Cherie, Stop, love to Lulu, Cecile, and any of the other girls who still remember. Henry Barclay. Now, what the devil would the headmistress of a girls' school at Eastbourne make of that?
Nothing, I hope. Very hospitable family in Brussels. I send them one every year. There must have been a mix-up.
Lulu and Cecile must be getting rather long in the tooth by now.
Well, if I may say so, sir, it seems rather a pity that you didn't tell me you changed your mind last night. But when you came home with Father, don't you agree, Dad?
He's got something there, Matthew. You can't expect the troops to carry out your battle plan if you keep chopping and changing it, you know.
As I remember, your battle plan hasn't been carried out either. So I don't want any more moronic military cliches. Thank you, Henry.
In that case...
Now, where are you going?
I am not staying here to have the army insulted. I shall be in my office when you're in a more reasonable state of mind.
You win.
But I had a start, Cornelius. It really wasn't fair.
Shall we go then?
Where to?
Madame Tussauds,
Tussauds.
Tussauds, the British Museum, Tower of London, Kew Gardens, and all those places you told me about.
We couldn't see all that today.
Well, what's wrong with tomorrow? And the day after?
Nothing, Cornelius. Nothing at all. I've never had such a wonderful time in my life.
Oh, I shouldn't worry if I were you, sir. I'm sure Tansy won't do anything else silly after the dressing down I gave her. In any case, I think you were right in the first place. I wouldn't send her back to school.
Oh, you wouldn't you? Well, I happen to be Tansy's father, Thomas, and after thinking it over, not the usual routine thinking, I have decided that Tansy should stay at school, which is where she wants to be.
Well, whatever you say, sir.
Sir Matthew, Miss Tansy's not at school, and she's
Very well, call the police. Get someone to check round the hospitals.
Very well, sir. I'll do it straight away. Oh, Miss Tansy. Oh, thank goodness.
Thank heavens for that.
What a relief.
Yes, that'll be all, Yardley. Thank
Very
you.
well, sir. I'll telephone the police straight away.
Don't be silly, Yardley. Miss Tansy's here.
Oh, I'm so confused. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, I didn't know it was so late. Oh, Daddy, I am sorry.
Don't
truly.
worry, Tansy. I'm not angry. I'm not even going to ask where you've been. No, it's all been a ridiculous misunderstanding. Don't worry. I'm going to take you right back to school myself.
But I don't want to go back to school.
But Tansy, only yesterday you ran away to school.
But that was yesterday, and this is today. And Thomas was right. It was a dopey thing to do. Please don't make me go back.
I don't want to make you do anything, love.
You see, Thomas says it's time I grew up, and he's absolutely right. And he says I can't go round in these hideous clothes any longer. And I absolutely agree with him.
So do I. 1 up for Thomas. And did Thomas say that you ought to go to Paris?
Yes. But I think I ought to get to know London before I start on Paris.
What do you mean, stay here in London with me?
Yes, Daddy, that's exactly what I'd like to do. May I, please?
Well, of course you may. I couldn't be more delighted. We'll buy you some lovely clothes, and I'll find lots of nice young friends for you.
Oh, but Daddy, don't you see? I've got to make friends of my own, or they're not my friends. And I don't want lots of friends either. I think it's much nicer to have very few friends. Or perhaps only one. Oh, gosh, Cornelius, where did you get it? And that?
I bought it. Now we can really go places. Try this on for size.
All right.
That's okay. Now we only need Abraham Lincoln and George Washington to make the set.
Obviously, Henry, Tansy has got a crush on Thomas.
Do you really think so? He never mentions her to me. But then he never mentions anything to me.
Oh, Thomas is the only one of us that she takes any notice of.
Do you think they go out together?
Well, she's out all day. Suddenly gone mad on photography. But I bet she meets him for lunch. And in the evening, the telephone, she's never off it.
Talking to Thomas?
She doesn't know anyone else. She doesn't seem to want to, either. Has it ever struck you, Henry, that one day I may be leading Tansy up the aisle with Thomas waiting for her at the altar?
Ah, that'd be the day, Matthew. But somehow I can't imagine little Tansy as a mother.
For heaven's sake, Henry, let's get them married first.
Oh, Thomas.
Hello.
Oh, you're just off, are you? I was just wondering if you'd fancy a round of golf.
Oh, well, thanks, Dad, but I thought I'd run round and collect button face for some tennis. Must be pretty dull for the kid cooped up in that flat.
Oh, quite. Good idea, Thomas. Well, you carry on, my lad. Don't worry about me. I'll find someone at the clubhouse to go around with.
Yes, all right, Dad. I'll see you later.
All right, my boy, all right. Enjoy yourselves now. Button face.
Hi. I got a cable from my dad this morning.
You don't have to go back, Cornelius.
No, not yet. He was just asking if I delivered that letter of his. He hasn't heard from your father yet.
Gosh, you never did you?
I can't remember where I put it, can you?
It's over a week ago.
You know, I've looked everywhere, and I can't find it. Maybe I did leave it in the office after all. How can I find out?
Easy. I'll find out. Just you stop worrying and leave everything to me.
Tansy, you're the best friend a guy ever had.
I know. I'm fabulous. Hi.
Hi.
Now, if I write to Ellingham, it'll look too eager. It'll look as if we cared, which, of course, we do. No, but if I happen to be in New York, then it's natural enough that I should call him up.
What about Tansy? When you're away, you can't leave her alone in that flat, can you?
No, that wouldn't be fair to Thomas, would it?
Nothing for it, Matthew. You'll have to take her with you.
I can't do that. Tansy's come a long way in a week, but she's not fit to be loosed on the Americans yet. No, I'm afraid she'll have to stay with you.
But I'm off to Scotland tonight. It's the only 2 weeks in the year that trout rise to a Burma net. I can't possibly put that off.
You don't have to put it off, Henry. You can take Tansy with you.
Hello, Miss Yardley.
Nylon stockings. And stiletto heels.
What? Oh, I thought I'd just try them. They're easy. Oh!
Well, if you're looking for your ticket, the General's got it.
Ticket? What for?
Scotland, didn't your father tell you?
Well, he never tells me anything. I only live with him.
Well, you're going to Scotland tonight with the General while your father's away.
Well, where's Daddy going?
New York, on business. He's going to see a Mr. Ellingham.
Ellingham? Oh, gosh.
Well, of course, you wouldn't understand. But he's been waiting for a very important letter that hasn't come, so he has to go over there.
Oh. Oh, dear. Well, I won't wait, Miss Yardley. Hey. Where in Scotland am I going?
Invermurchy. Fishing.
Fishing? In that hole? That's the last straw. Well, I won't go.
Well. The Deb of the year. Or is it next year?
Oh, shut up,
Now,
Thomas.
what's the matter with you?
Let me go,
Not
Thomas.
until you tell me.
Daddy's flying to New York, and I'm to be sent to Scotland with your father, fishing.
You don't want to go.
I don't care what they do. I won't go.
Can't bear to leave the boyfriend, huh?
What boyfriend?
Hi.
Thomas, you've been spying.
Nothing of the kind. I just happened along. But you know, you want to be careful of those crazy mixed-up beats.
He's not a beat.
No? No, I suppose he's a dreamboat.
He's just a friend.
Huh.
You wouldn't understand, but I've never had a friend before. Somebody who feels like me, who doesn't think I'm absolutely dumb. Somebody who actually likes me. And if you tell my father, I think I'll die.
Well, actually, he seemed a harmless enough sort of jerk to me, but all the same, I still think you'll be safer in Scotland while your dad's away.
What's it got to do with you?
Absolutely nothing. Except that you're such a steaming nit that you oughtn't to be allowed out without a keeper. And I don't wish to be lumbered with the job.
You won't be. And I'm not going to Scotland.
Oh, yes, you are. Because I shall be at the station tonight with Dad, and if you're not on the train, I'll spill the beans.
Thomas, you wouldn't.
Oh, yes, I would. And then that great, big, beautiful friendship would come to a full stop, wouldn't it? Got it? Now you better run along and tell him the bad news.
I absolutely hate you, Thomas, and I'm not going anywhere.
Very decent of you to come and see me off, Thomas.
Not at all, Dad.
But perhaps it wasn't entirely on my account, eh?
Yes, well, we all know Buttonface has a habit of getting herself mislaid, so I thought I'd just come and make sure of her this time.
I'll just go and get myself some tobacco in case you'd like to say goodbye to the girl.
You've already bought some tobacco.
I want some more.
Well, have a good time, Buttonface, and catch lots and lots of fish.
Better get aboard, I think. Goodbye, Thomas.
Goodbye, Dad.
Yeah, Tansy. You won't see him again for another couple of weeks, you know.
You know, if my father saw Scotland, he'd probably make an offer for it.
Well, there we are, Sir Matthew. A deal's a deal.
Thank you.
Say, it was lucky you had to be in New York anyway.
Yes, quite a coincidence, wasn't it?
I'm going to take that boy of mine to pieces when he gets back for not delivering that letter. He's been a problem, Sir Matthew. I've sent him to college, to skull thumpers, but I can't get him integrated. He just has no sense of togetherness.
He's young. You probably haven't handled him properly. All they need is handling.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I think he just doesn't want to come into business with me. Although heaven only knows what he does want.
To be left alone, probably.
Left alone? Well, he should want to be together. Excuse me. Yes?
Sir Matthew Carr's called Invermucky, England.
Invermurky, Miss Zitz, and it's in Scotland. It's errors like that that get us Americans disliked. Watch it, please. Help yourself. I'll leave you.
Hello? Tansy. It's your dad from New York, yes. How are you, my darling?
Is there anything wrong?
No, no trouble at all, not with me. Young Allingham's going to find himself in trouble when his father lays hands on him. Is Uncle Henry there?
No. He's fishing.
Oh. Well, listen, darling. I'm catching a plane to come back in 3 hours' time, and I want you and Uncle Henry to catch the night train for London.
Tonight?
Tonight.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Charles.
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. No, I'm going straight on to the office. I just looked in to see Miss Tansey.
Miss Tansey, sir?
She's back, isn't she?
No, sir. She's still in Scotland, I imagine.
Oh, no. They were meant to catch the night train. She should have been here hours ago. What's this? It's more photographs.
Miss Tansey, sir. They arrived this morning.
Right. Well, you tell her to ring me at the office the moment she gets in, will you?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Now, if I can get myself across the Atlantic, you'd think those two might make that simple trip from Invermerghe to London.
I simply can't understand it, Sir Matthew.
Sorry, Matthew. Got back from fishing too late last night to catch the train. Had to get up at dawn and get a plane from Aberdeen. Got you some fish. Look.
Gracious.
Put it away. This isn't Billingsgate, Henry. All right, Yardley.
Well, put me in the picture. What's the flap? The Allingham deal?
Well, there's no flap. There never was.
But why didn't they answer us?
They did. The answer is yes, but the letter is apparently still lurking in young Allingham's pocket. He brought it over. You know, from what his father tells me, that boy sounds half-witted.
But the deal's in the bag.
Oh, yes, all set. By the way, how's Tansey?
She's all right, isn't she?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Well, she was all right when I saw her yesterday.
Well, didn't she fly back with you today?
No, she got the night train last night. At least that's the message I got when I got back to the pub.
Well, she hasn't shown up in London.
Good heavens. You don't think she's done a bolt or something, do you?
Mr. Thomas, I want to see him at once.
What do you want to see Thomas for?
If Tansey did come back to London, who'd be the first person she'd want to see? Her doting father? No, not in real life. Your son, Thomas.
Yes, of course.
Have they been writing to each other?
I don't know. I didn't ask. You told me to keep my nose out of it, and I have. No, I've got my pipe, thanks.
Morning, sir. Hello, Dad. Good fishing?
Fine.
It's about Tansey, Thomas.
Tansey, sir?
You've probably heard from her.
Me?
Thomas, there's no need to beat about the bush. All I want to know is that Tansey has arrived safely back in London.
Well, how should I know, sir?
Come off it, Thomas. There's no need for all this secrecy. We know all about it.
All about what?
Oh, good heavens, boy. You and Tansey.
Me? Well, you don't think that Tansey and me...
Look here, Thomas, I don't mind your being, friends with Tansey. In fact, I like it.
We're not blind, Thomas. We can put two and two together. There's no need to hide anything.
Oh, you can put two and two together, can you? Well, let me tell you something. You've got the wrong two. You're like a couple of scheming old dowagers. I suppose you've already got Tansey and me married off with a nursery full of screaming brats. Talk about wishful thinking.
It's natural for parents to think about their children's future.
Yeah.
Yes, but you're not thinking about us. You're thinking about yourselves. How to manage my life and Tansey's to suit your taste. Anybody would think that we were a couple of limited liability companies that it would be profitable to merge. But if you knew anything about me, Dad, which you don't, you'd realize that a child bride is not my cup of tea. And with due respect, sir, if you knew anything about Tansey, which you don't, you'd realize that she'd need to be dragged kicking and screaming to the altar before she'd marry me. So I suggest that you two matchmaking old mums better think again.
I'm sorry, Matthew. The boy was damn rude.
All the same, there was something in what he said. What did Tansey do all the time? Fish?
No, she felt too sorry for them. She spent most of her time taking photographs.
Photographs? Get on your things, Henry. I have an idea. I think I know where we can find a clue as to what's been going on. Well, you can work the damn thing, Henry.
Right. First slide coming up.
What's that?
Damn it. Sorry. Oh, me. Now, I hadn't been fishing for more than 10 minutes.
Sorry, there's no time for one of your fishing stories, Henry. The next one, please. The devil's that?
Looks like a horse's backside.
Curious subject. Good heavens.
Looks like a fried egg.
Yes, but who's frying it?
Could be Tansey.
Yes, but who took it? Did you?
My campaigning days are over.
Yes, but who did take it, Henry? That's the point. Oh, give us another. What's that?
Looks like some sort of monument.
Yes, but who's that standing there?
Looks like a man.
Yes, but what man?
Difficult to say. Here's another. Ben Krugie's Neb.
That's a long way from Invermerghe, isn't it?
The other side of Perthshire.
And you dropped your fishing to take her up there?
I couldn't climb to the top of the bus, let alone a mountain.
But who did take her up there?
Who?
Yes, who? Ah! Who is it?
Never met the fella.
While you were waiting for the trout to rise, Tansy was roaming half over Scotland with that. You must have been blind.
Damn it, you told me to leave her alone.
There he is again, Edinburgh Castle. If that isn't the typical Chelsea layabout wanting to marry an heiress, what is?
That isn't Edinburgh, Matthew, it's Windsor. And there he is again at Kew. It's the same man in London and Scotland.
It can't be.
It is. Half of these were taken in London when you were supposed to be in charge. Who's blind now?
I'm dead.
You want to see some more?
Well, who would have thought it? My little Tansy. We must cancel the board meeting tomorrow and put off the accountants, Henry.
But what about the New York deal?
That can wait for a few days. The only people I want to see at the moment are my lawyer, the Commissioner of Police, and the Lord Chief Justice. We shall be making Tansy a ward of court.
Yes.
Good night, Cornelius.
Good night, Tansy.
Tycoon threatens teenage daughter. Tansy made ward of court. Charles, why are the entire press against me?
Well, Sir Matthew, they seem determined to cast you in the unsympathetic role of the, Victorian father.
Victorian father. Runaway heiress under canvas. Oh, damn it. Look, this photograph is libelous. I haven't got bow legs, have I?
No, sir. They blocked the horse out, sir.
I think I've got everything, Cornelius.
Tansy,
What's the matter?
there's something in the paper.
What about?
About you.
Me?
Yeah. Your father's worried or something. It says here he's had you made a ward of court. What's it mean? What's it all about?
A ward of court? Oh, gosh. It means he thinks I'm going to get married. Or something.
Your father thinks you're going to get married or something.
Oh, yes, he must. Oh, Cornelius, I never thought. I just didn't want to go back to London. Oh, gosh.
Come on, let's go back to camp and talk this thing out. Get married or something.
But no one will find us here, Cornelius. And if we did go back, you'd have to go home. You don't want to do that, do you?
No, ma'am. Things being the way they are, I'm staying missing.
Good. I think it'll teach Daddy a lesson. Of course, the whole trouble is it's the modern parent that's maladjusted, not the modern child.
Yes, and they're not well enough integrated to see it that way.
I expect they will in time. I'm afraid we've eaten a lot. Oh, no, here's a banana. Race you?
Yes.
But I hadn't won.
Well, I think I've had enough. I think I'll go for a walk.
All right. I'm going to have a sleep.
can't understand why they haven't been found. The whole police force is supposed to be looking for them.
And the general with his horsewhip.
Yes, and when they do find them, Miss Yardley, I will be there too, with a shotgun.
But they can't arrest them, can they, Sir Matthew? Not until you get your warrant. And that takes time, doesn't it, Sir Matthew?
It certainly does. Not even the law seems to be on my side. What is a father supposed to do? Just stand by and let some nameless, penniless lout grab his daughter?
But if they're in love...
What he's in love with, Miss Yardley, is my money.
But you look such a nice boy.
Half the adventurers of the world look such nice boys. How else would they operate? Get me the commissioner of police. I want to know what the fool's up to.
I'll try, Sir Matthew.
Tansy, are you sure you're all right? Good night, Tansy. Tansy, there's something I've got to say to you. Now, don't say anything till I've got it said. You know this idea of your father's about us getting married? Well, I think he's got something there. I would like to marry you, Tansy. Now, don't say anything. Well, say something, Tansy. Goofed again. Who's that?
Me, old chap. Terribly sorry.
Tansy!
Good morning, Miss Yardley.
Morning, Mr. Johnson.
I see Sir Matthew's got his warrant.
Yes, but they'll have to catch them first. Poor young things.
Can you make a statement? Do you know who the young man is? Have you had any message from Tansy?
No comment.
Is it true you haven't been on speaking terms with her? Since you ran away from school. Haven't you always stopped from doing what she wanted to do?
Who is Romeo? Warrant out for his arrest?
Too young to love. And a real bonny picture of Tansy.
Well, I think it's a shame. I mean, some kids develop quicker than others, and if they're in love, well, what the hell?
Well, just because the poor kid's rich, why shouldn't she be entitled to a happiness like you or me?
You're right, of course. Oh, do you think they'll be caught? Do you think they'll get away with it?
Do you think they're married yet?
I'm sure I don't know. All we can do is hope for the best.
Oh, that's terrible.
car, sir. Looking for a young man and a girl.
Oh, well, I'm a young man on a horse.
So that's a horse you got in there, sir?
Yes.
Mind if we check?
Well, I shouldn't if I were you. She's a bit of a kicker. She kicks me often. I mean, she's used to me.
Well, I think we'll take a look just the same, sir. Yes, well, I think we can take it that's a horse, all right, sir?
Yes.
Sounds murderous, sir.
Yes, well, she probably wants her oats, don't you, dear?
Something wrong with the doors, Johnson?
Can't be, sir. I only greased them yesterday.
I'm glad he's not my daddy. Fancy him being so cruel looking like Marlon Brando. You'd hardly credit it.
It's not really like him, though, is it?
The camera never lies. And look at Romeo. He's not exactly Elvis Presley.
Oh, no, but he's awful dreamy.
And you can tell right away that he's nice.
Well, he looks the criminal type to me. This photograph you gave him. If that isn't a degenerate face, what is?
It's a remarkably ordinary face, Henry.
Maybe, but I've seen that mad look in Dancing Dervishes when they were hopped up to the eyes with dope.
If you're trying to put heart into me, Henry, you're not succeeding.
I'm sorry, Matthew, but I'm so worried about the child. I'm more worried about her than I am about Thomas.
What's the matter with Thomas?
He hasn't slept at home for the last 2 nights.
Oh, well, boys will be boys, but girls can't be girls. That's the difference.
No.
Anyhow, nobody is likely to abduct Thomas.
What?
Girls! It's a postcard from her.
Oh, what's he saying?
Having a wonderful time.
Oh, how big she is.
And the best of British luck to her.
Well, since there's no postmark, there's no harm in giving it to Sir Matthew. This postcard just came for you, Sir Matthew.
Oh, what is it?
I imagine it's of a private and personal nature.
It's from Tansy.
Yes?
Dear Daddy, don't worry about me. Having a wonderful time. Love, Tansy.
Well, that's good news.
And what's good about it? Anyone would think she was at Bognor Regis with a shrimping net instead of flitting around Scotland with this lunatic.
What's the postmark?
Keep Britain tidy. Useless.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ellingham, but Sir Matthew gave me strict orders that he wasn't to be disturbed by anyone. You're him. You're Romeo. But what are you doing here? Go away. You'll be arrested.
But I told you I've got to see Sir Matthew now. So are you going and tell him, or do I?
Well, if that's the way you want it. There's a Mr. Cornelius Ellingham here, Sir Matthew. He wants to see you.
How dare he turn up now? If it hadn't been for that young fool, I should never have had to go to New York, and Tansy would never have gone to Scotland, and all this would never have happened. I certainly don't want to see him.
But he's him. He's Romeo. You know, him.
That's right, sir. That's me.
Henry, it is him.
By God, it is.
Gosh, sir, hasn't Tansy told you I'm me?
See, he admits it. I'd like to break every bone in your body.
Not yet, Henry. My bird, I think. So you're the young man who's run off with my daughter, hmm?
Well, yeah. Yes, sir, I guess so.
Are you married to her?
Are you kidding? No, sir.
Oh, very well. Where is she?
Don't you know where she is?
Well, you're the only one who knows where she is.
Well, if it wasn't you who took her away, then who was it?
Took her away? You mean you've lost her?
Do you mind if I sit down? I don't feel too good.
Excuse me. Morning. What's good about it? No news?
No comment.
Yes?
It's you, Mr. Thomas. I thought it might be another of those newspapermen.
Look, Charles, is there a back way into here?
A back way, sir?
Yes, I've got Miss Tansy downstairs, and I don't want the press boys to get onto it.
Miss Tansy, sir? Downstairs?
Charles, she's in a horse box.
In a horse box?
In her pajamas.
In her pajamas?
Well, it's a rather long story, Charles, so we'll have to go into it later. Now, how can we get her up here?
Well, there's only a service lift at the back of the building, sir. That's normally used for the garbage disposal.
Garbage disposal? What a very good idea, Charles. I'll get the vehicles round to the back right away. You better meet me there.
Incredible.
Fantastic.
It's true, sir. Look, here's the bump on the back of my head.
A young man abducts a girl, loses her, then comes running to her father to find her for him. I give up.
But, sir, I thought it was you who took her away.
Henry, get on to the police. Tell them that he's here and they better come and fetch him.
Right.
Okay, I go to jail. But Don't you see? Someone really has kidnapped Tansy.
Come off it, Buttonface. I didn't hurt you.
Yes, you did, you thief! You pig! You're just a thug! A hired assassin!
Belt up.
And I hate you! I absolutely hate you! And I never want to speak to you again!
Sir, am I right in thinking that under the British penal system, they still make use of the treadmill?
I hope so.
Excuse me, sir. I thought
Oh,
you
go
were-
away, Thomas. I've no time for you. Tansy has been kidnapped.
Oh, but that's impossible, sir. I just parked her at your flat.
What?
Well, I didn't think it'd be quite the thing to bring her here.
My car at once.
The police will be here and... Where the devil have you been, Thomas?
Well, I was just explaining to...
Never mind where he's been. He's found Tansy.
Found her? Where is she?
I took her home, Dad.
Henry, you look after this criminal until the police come to cart him off. I'm going to see Tansy. I have a lot to say to that young lady.
How's the head?
Hey, you're the one.
Pardon me, General. There's a policeman outside. He wants to see the young gentleman.
Well, I suppose I go to jail now. I could probably find a lawyer someplace.
Oh, yes, they look after all that in Brixton Prison.
All right, officer. I'll come quietly.
Right, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Me boy.
Well done, my boy. So that's where you've been. Tell me, how did you do it?
Well, it was the old army training, Dad. When you tell me about all that camping stuff, I reckoned that with a motor scooter, they wouldn't get very far away from their base, so I carried out a personal reconnaissance.
Whatever the job, time spent on reconnaissance is never wasted.
Now, sir, if you'd just like to show me your driving license and insurance certificate.
Sure. This isn't my car, officer.
Aren't you Thomas Barclay?
No, I'm Cornelius Ellingham.
Not Thomas Barclay.
No, that's the big baboon upstairs. Don't you know me? Haven't you seen my face somewhere before?
Were you on telly last night, perhaps?
No.
Then I haven't seen you before, and I don't want to see you now. I want to see Mr. Barclay.
Hey, am I a free man then? Hey, I think you British policemen are wonderful. Taxi!
Sir Matthew, just about, please. Any news, Sir Matthew? Sir Matthew, can you make a statement?
Yes, my daughter is safely at home and the young man has been arrested. Where is she, Charles?
In her room, sir. A bit upset, sir.
Tansy? Baby. I thought perhaps we might have a little talk.
I've got nothing to say to you except I absolutely hate you.
So I gathered.
I'm a monster. Your heart's broken and your life ruined.
It's not me I'm worrying about. It's Cornelius.
I shouldn't bother about him. He'll spend a night or two in prison and then he'll be packed off home.
But he shouldn't go to prison at all. I'm the one who should be there. I suggested he should go to Scotland. I told him to buy the tent. And I was the one who wanted to go camping.
You'll be saying next that you abducted him?
Well, I did. I didn't want him to go back to New York. And now he's going to prison.
That was Loverboy.
Now, Tansy, a month ago you were clamoring for a quiet life. Now this little escapade of yours has landed you in the headlines.
It wasn't a little escapade. It wasn't anything like that.
Well, in spite of yourself, Tansy, you have become a personality. You'll probably end by marrying a duke.
I don't want to marry a duke. I want to marry Cornelius.
Now, this is where I become a trifle old-fashioned. You are not going to marry that dim-witted youth. What is it?
Mr. Allingham is here, sir.
Cornelius! Cornelius! Oh, thank goodness. I've been so worried about you. I thought that brute had killed you.
Oh, I'm fine. I've been worried about you. Are you all right?
Yes, I haven't got as many bruises as Daddy hoped, I'm sure.
Tansy, there's something I've got to know. Are you going to marry me?
The question of marriage simply doesn't arise.
Oh, yes, it does. If you want to marry me, Cornelius, it's yes.
What are you doing here, anyway? I thought you were safely under lock and key.
Well, I escaped temporarily. But now, since seeing Tansy, sir, I'd like to speak to you privately.
Very well, young man. Come along with me.
He'll talk you out of it. That's what he's been trying to do with me.
You know me, Tansy. Once I get an idea in my head, it sticks.
Well, just shout if you need me. I'll be right here.
Well?
Well, sir, I don't blame you one little bit for being mad at me. I'm mad at myself. I should have known right from the start I wanted to marry Tansy.
You mean you dragged the girl half around Scotland in a tent without thinking of marrying her?
Right, sir. If you hadn't made Tansy ward of court to stop us from getting married, I'd never have thought of it. But you gave us the idea. And it's a pretty good idea, sir.
Your father told me that you were maladjusted, but he didn't tell me that you were the kind of juvenile delinquent who goes around trying to seduce young girls.
Well, you shouldn't judge other people by your standards. Now, Tansy's not that sort of girl at all. We were just friends.
Well, in that case, there seems no necessity for you to get married.
Well, you mean if I were the sort of hoodlum that did make a pass at the girl, I'd be more suitable?
I don't mean that at all. You're not suitable, and that's all there is to be said about it. Except this, that you need money to live, even in a tent.
But I know that, and I'm very glad to be depending on you, sir, because frankly, I'm not good at all about money.
So you're counting on me to support you, hmm?
Well, I wouldn't have put it like that, but since all my money is invested with you, I guess that's the way it works out.
All your money is invested with me?
Yeah, my dad kicked in with about $1 million my grandpa just left me. Didn't he tell you?
No, he didn't.
Well, Dad reckons with you behind this new trust that I ought to double my money in 10 years.
I always double everybody's money. But you're not getting my daughter as well. Oh, no, young man. Prison is the place for you.
So if you send me to prison, sir, Tansy will feel she has to marry me. That would be almost like blackmailing her into it, wouldn't it, sir?
How it comes around to me blackmailing Tansy, I can't quite follow. Look, I don't want to have to send you to prison.
I knew that's how you feel as soon as we had a chance to talk this out.
Yes, well, we have talked it out. And this is what I've decided. You leave Tansy alone for 6 months, and then, if at the end of that time she still feels the same about you, I'll reconsider my decision.
But that's no good, sir.
Why not?
Don't you see? Now you've told the whole world Tansy's an heiress and put her picture on every front page. You're going to have every no-good lay about camping on your doorstep. The moment I move out, the wolves move in. I couldn't let you in for that, sir.
It's the police.
Oh, that's too bad. But still, I think your dad has his problem straightened out now. I think you'll know what to do.
It's been made perfectly clear to me that I am responsible for the whole thing. I only hope I can persuade the police that I didn't start it with any malicious intent.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be able to do that easily, Daddy. I mean, you're so clever.
Oh, no. I hate to confess it, but I've goofed. I've goofed badly.
Cornelius, I do believe you've got Daddy adjusted to being a father.
Any statements, Matthew? Where's Tansy? Is the boy going to jail? Are they going to pull him in for contempt?
I have withdrawn my objections to this marriage.
Yes, says Daddy. It's the wedding of the year.
Sir Matthew Carr has now given his permission for daughter Tansy and her boyfriend, Cornelius Allingham, to wed.
Hi.
Yes, it's all right for you. You're dead.
The fact is, Padre, Sir Matthew has more or less made me OC of Operation Wedding. This isn't difficult for me. I always did the tattoo at Tidworth, you know.
But a wedding, General, is hardly a military exercise. Surely it's a beautiful and solemn religious service.
There won't be anything beautiful or solemn about it, unless these little devils of pages and bridesmaids are given a bit of square bashing. You leave it to me, Padre. Your route card, Matthew?
I know the way to the church, Henry.
I know, but it's the timing that counts. Split-second stuff, you know.
Damn it, Henry, this is a wedding, not a military maneuver.
Left, right, left, right, left. About turn!
But I've hardly seen you since we got back from Scotland, Tansy.
I know, but I've been so busy, Cornelius. There's so much to do before you get married.
Yeah, but couldn't we take a scooter out this afternoon and go off someplace?
I've got a fitting this afternoon. The dressmakers are coming.
Oh, well.
Oh, it's from Thomas.
Oh, the guy who cost me.
Anyhow, he made an honest woman of you. No hard feelings, Thomas.
You know, we owe him something. It was his kidnapping you that made me realize how much I loved you.
Yes. Suppose we ought to be grateful for that.
Bom, bom, ba-dum, bom, bom, ba-bum, bom, bom, ba-bum, bom. Tricky tempo, the wedding march, neither fast nor slow. Now, with the dead march, you know where you are. Bom, bom, ba-dum, bom,
You may yet have the
ba-dum,
pleasure of
bom.
organizing somebody's funeral, Henry. Mine, probably.
I wish we were doing all this for Tansy and Thomas, Matthew.
Well, we can't have everything, Henry. After all, he's decided to stay in the firm.
Yes, heaven knows why he's changed his mind.
Probably found some girl and is thinking ahead to the patter of expensive, tiny feet. That's the end product that dictates those years of flogging up the ladder.
Yes?
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Wow. It's not unlucky, is it?
It could be.
Tansy, I know we're not on speaking terms and all that, but, well, since Cornelius doesn't know anybody over here, Dad wants me to be his best man.
What's that got to do with it?
Well, nothing really, except that the best man is supposed to kiss the bride, and if we're not on speaking terms, it makes it a bit difficult, doesn't it?
Would you excuse me, Miss Timberlake, just for 5 minutes?
Thanks, Tansy. Look, I know you're furious with me, and I'm sorry that I upset you so much, but I had to get you back somehow, you know.
Oh, yes. All Daddy had to say was, "Fetch her, boy," and you were off like a dog after a rabbit.
It had nothing to do with your father. He didn't send me.
Didn't he?
No.
Oh. Then it was your idea.
Yes, entirely.
Oh. But why? What business was it of yours?
Oh, hell, Tansy, the muddles you get into. Somebody's got to look after you.
I was perfectly well looked after until you butted in.
Tansy, you know jolly well you can't go roaming round the country, dossing down in a tent with all and sundry.
What's wrong with camping? Boy Scouts and Girl Guides do it.
Yes, little birds in the trees do it. Even Pekingese do it. But that's no reason for you to jump on the bandwagon.
Thomas, you don't think that Cornelius...
What, after a couple of weeks up the glens and over the moors and 2 nights in that tent?
There wasn't room in the tent.
Ha!
And anyway, Cornelius slept outside. Really, you are a square.
I'm a square.
Yes. I expected Daddy to think the worst, because old people always do harp on sex. But they're the ones who are obsessed by it, not us. If we've got any ideas about it, they're the ones who've given them to us.
I must admit that if I'd been on that camping party, I'd have had a few ideas about you, Tansy. I'm rather surprised that Cornelius didn't have them, too.
How do you mean, Thomas?
I'll show you.
bad for square, huh?
Bye, Tansy.
Thomas, I hate you. I absolutely hate you. Hmm.
Pardon me. Excuse me. Hello? Who? Oh, hi, Tansy. Yeah, just trying on my cutaway suit. They say it's de rigueur, but I say it's de rigor mortis. Anyway, it's murder.
I want to talk to you, Cornelius.
Well, go right ahead.
Well, not over the phone. Can't we meet somewhere? Somewhere where nobody knows us.
Yeah, I suppose so. Where do you suggest? Yeah, I know the place. All right, I'll be with you just as soon as I get this monkey suit off. Okay, goodbye.
After all, there's no reason for all this rush, Cornelius.
No, and I didn't ask for all this pageantry, that's for sure.
They've got no business hurrying us like this.
You know, it makes it seem like it's not our wedding at all.
Almost as if we were getting married to please them.
Yeah.
I mean, when you come to think of it, it wasn't our idea in the first place.
No, it wasn't.
And we ought to be absolutely sure, Cornelius,
How do you mean, sure?
that we're in love.
Guess we are. Don't you?
Could you live without me?
I didn't really start to live until I met you, Tansy.
But you've managed to live these last 3 weeks and you've scarcely seen me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I guess I can get along all right without you now. Oh, I'm sorry, I goofed.
No, you didn't. You said the right thing. That's exactly how I feel. So we don't have to get married, do we?
No, and they can't make us.
You're wonderful to talk to, Cornelius. You always straighten things out in a flash. What will you do now?
Me? Oh, I don't know. Well, I don't have to do anything. I can just bum around. But what will you do?
Oh, I don't really know either, but I'll never forget you, Cornelius.
Or me, you, Tansy. It's been great knowing you.
Me too. Goodbye, Cornelius.
Goodbye, Tansy.
Hi.
Hi.
I really wa-
Don't disturb Miss Tansy. Let her sleep on. She's got a heavy day tomorrow. Oh, I may be a little late for dinner. We've got a little party at the office. Very good. Drink up, Miss McPherson.
Well, the bubbles make me, you know, B-U-R-P.
Now then, Yardley. Another toast to the happy couple, eh?
Oh, I don't think I should, Sir Matthew. I should be quite squiffy.
That's the object of the exercise, my dear.
Oh, dear. And I told Miss Oswald not to put any calls through.
Oh, perhaps you'd better answer it just in case we've gone bankrupt.
Charlotte speaking? Oh, it's you, my dear. Yes, your father's here. And we're all drinking champagne as fast as we can go. Sir Matthew?
Hello? Oh, I see, dear. Yeah.
Charlotte speaking?
Say that again.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Thomas. Yes, the General is here. General? General Barclay?
Yes?
Yes, I know that, Tansy, but what has Thomas to do with this?
What? What's that? But you can't. You'll upset all my arrangements. And what am I going to tell the vicar? No, Thomas. No, listen.
Tansy, no, please, don't cut off. There are all sorts of things I want to know.
Terrible things happened, Matthew. I've just had Thomas on the phone.
I know. I've just had Tansy.
You have? But I can't believe it. They're eloping.
Worse, they've eloped.
We'd better call the police, and this time I'll handle it, Matthew.
Henry, don't you realize that for the first time in their lives, those children of ours are doing exactly what we want them to do?
Yes, I suppose they are. Damn and blasted. But they've left us holding the baby.
Not yet, Henry. Not yet.